Hello, everybody. This is Sergeant Rabbit's Foot, and welcome to my first episode of Hearts of Iron 4: The Reckoning. So today we will be playing. This game is just basically it's World War II simulator, and generally just it starts in 1936, and you just play events versus you could set right here. You could set your historical AI focuses, which means all the AI will naturally do what they did during World War II. Or you can just say, fuck that, I'm gonna play who I want. The way I want. And that's this here. Is what I'll be playing. It's just the way I want, who I want. If you want to start early and easy, German Reich, France, United Kingdom, Soviet Union, all very easy to play. But I'm gonna go Sweden, and they have a very democratic government. But we are gonna change that to the fascist regime, or you know what? We'll even join the Soviet Union. We'll see how it plays out. We'll start off. There's not too much I can tell you about this game. I just been binging it a lot, and I thought, why not have a fucking whole series on it? Why not, right? You can see here. Oh, freaking yawning like shit crazy here. As you see here, I got my units here all together. I'm probably gonna have these Navy on just patrol missions through here. Infantry. I have a lot of fucking colonies or militias. And we'll kind of grab all my units here, my infantry, and we'll get them all into one army functioning. And for now, I guess I'll have them bordering Finland. That's not bad. The commander, what do we got? Hill movement, attack, defense. Out of supply 50%. We'll use him for now. Out of supply won't really make a difference until later, but for now, I'm gonna get. So basically, this is your focus tree. Every nation focuses on certain things and gives bonuses to the fields or levels of the technology. Army effort. Obviously, if you want to tech into your army right now, I recommend probably not for the first 2 years. I would recommend that. So, political effort, hands down, top picks are political effort and industrial effort for me, specifically the way I play. So I'll go industrial effort. We'll go over to research. We have 3 research slots available. And we'll see what kind of tech we have. So if I'm planning for some some Finland domination, which is very likely, after I join either the fascists or the communes, probably the fascists, just because they tend to have better things. It's like we already have we already have some STRVs, M31s. It's good actually, and you just kind of go through your tech tree. It looks a little overwhelming now, but it's pretty simple once you get into it. So first of all, we're going to go to industry. We're going to research construction. That'll take 180 days. And the next one will be under probably a doctrine between I'll go with superior firepower. That way I don't have to use as many men, and we can focus on artillery divisions and the like. So doctrines are like, you can only have one doctrine. They are all in, like, so if I switched over to this doctrine, I'd get the same amount of experience that I had already supported into this doctrine. So if I want to go grand plan, battle plan doctrine later in this campaign, I could, with a slight cost, like a research cost. So we have anti-air here, 20mm M40s. Bofors 37mm, which are anti-tanks. And we already have the 10.5cm M34, which is artillery based. So we'll get some interwar artillery. They'll tech in with the superior firepower tech. So that's that. Research tab is just here, or W as your shortcut. You hit E. This is the diplomacy tab. Every other country, blah blah blah. We have trade, which we do need, but that will come up later. So construction. We have 6 out of 10 available civilian factories, which is civilian factories build everything from naval dockyard, land fort, naval base, coastal fort, air bases, infrastructure, and anti-air, and then later on radar stations, synthetic refineries, rocket sites, nuclear factories, nuclear reactors, and that. But what you really want, and then military factory, they produce your weapons, support equipment, your ship production, all that. So if you want any of that, this is where you want military factories. Military factories are for the your infantry, your armored, and your fighters. But if you want naval dockyards, that would go towards your ships, obviously. Now, as you can see here, I'm -3 oil because my destroyer class 2 and my submarine class 1 are trying to produce, and they need oil. So that's where the trade comes in. So you go to trade, you find someone who has oil, click the oil. Soviet Union, United States, Venezuela, and then the list goes down from highest to greatest. Greatest to least, sorry. So if I want to trade with the United States, I could send 8 convoys by water, which I find is not a very good idea. So what you want to do is, Soviet Union, I don't need this, it's all by land. Takes up 1 civilian oilery. We could take up to 8 oil. That's where we'll start trading that. And then once I press play, I'll have the oil and then subtract what has already been taken. So this is good because I could start putting. I want to start putting light tanks on production, because we're going to need some light and we're going to need some tank divisions, because Finland is not a pushover. They are quite formidable and mostly all that. So you get more fighters and stuff, but that currently I don't need any of that. So what we do is we want civilian factories, and as you can see here, this is where you can put factories. There's 1 out of 4. That means anything from the shared buildings tab can go in there. 1 out of 4 of one of these things. So I could have 4 refineries or 4 naval dockyards or 1 of each. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to start by putting 3 factories. One sec. Excuse me. 3 factories in Jafstergotland. I'm not even gonna try. I'm Canadian, so that's a foreign word to me at this point. So we're just gonna start off easy here. That's the basics for now. We're gonna try and find a way to either get allied with Norway or just absorb Norway. Because the way I'm looking at it, we have the Germans to our south. So if we go communes and they declare war on Soviet Russia, Soviet Union, we are in terribly bad position, because we'll be getting our asses handed to us by the Germans. But if I joined the Germans, they could cover my back, and I could push towards Finland, Norway, and then begin my war against the Soviet Union, pushing against them, and hopefully, yeah, I'm trying to fight against them. Here we have, I'm just gonna put every one of these guys on patrol. I'm gonna try and collect the Baltic Sea here, get everybody up, and that's pretty much it for now. It's kind of watch as it goes. I'm trying to, national efforts will be coming along, and I'm currently Democratic right now, so to change completely, it's just gonna be hard as hell. So if you go to a state owner here, these are all the non-aggression pact, improve relations, guarantee independence, blah blah blah. So this is where it gets interesting. So if I go to Finland and stage a coup, and I could pick which Democrat, like they're currently non-aligned, so I can get like the fascists or communists or democrats a part of like the rebel against the non-aligned Finland, and they can slowly fight it out, and I can volunteer my forces towards that goal. But they will obviously be aware of it and think negatively of me later on, as well as if we go here to our political tab or flag, you see that this is what we have right now. We have export focus, civilian economy, volunteer only. So it's pretty much like we're not a war state. We have no intentions of fighting any wars anytime soon with those laws and governments. But as you go into political visor, you can just look over different. So this will be the first thing I get, which will be, depending on who I decide to pick, which would probably be the fascists. I get Per Andal into our party, and he'll slowly tilt the populace towards the fascist regime, as in increasing the support of the fascists by 0.10 per day. And that slowly, just kind of like over time, we'll get events and the like that'll support our goals and eventually just make us. Here we go, we got our first event. Make us want to join the fascists. And Spain has gone into war with the Republic, so they are going to fight it out. They're actually very fascist themselves. Finland is my goal, to own the Nordlands, so Finland, Norway, even though Finland wasn't technically a Viking nation. And Denmark, maybe, I don't know, it's not really on my goals, if they could do whatever they want. We're pumping out 1.5 tanks per week. This is the production efficiency. So you see that little red bar. Once that red bar is full, that means they're pumping out the machines or whatever they're making at the best production they can. And you get different tech that could fill that bar up more. So max production efficiency would be 70% for this tank or anything I have. And that can go up with industrial efforts, researchers and the like. So we have finished our national focus. So now this gives us plus 50% research bonus for industry. So any industry research I tech into next will get a 50% bonus. So half the time it'll take to to research it. So here, this is for military effort. This is for civilian effort. I'm gonna get the first tech of the civilian construction effort. The remilitarization of the Rhineland. So Germans are already on the move with their military. And I have a lot of conscripts, which is not that good, but I'll take it. So I could push. If I could push this line Oh, I could, yeah, if I could push them down to even here, I'm in a good spot. This problem is Soviet Union. They might join the Soviet Union, so I might even have to stretch my men. Fucking two fronts, the east and the south, and it's just gonna be hell water. But if they join the Democrats or the Alliance, the worst I have to worry about is I'll move all my ships to the west, the Denmark fucking pass here, and just intercept everything. We'll set up planes, fucking airfields. We'll totally just destroy the western approach while we take over the east. So as you can see here, I have a low manpower just because it's volunteer only. I get a certain percentage, 1.5% every year. Missing. This is for artillery that I should be pumping out, but I'm lacking. Oh, I have tons of tungsten. Oof. We will leave it for now because getting those light tanks early on will be good. Artillery can always come later. We can pump them out faster than we can tanks. So here comes the modified government. So at the top here it says political power next to the national unity and your manpower. Once that hits 150, you're allowed to change any of these. Like I can even change the civilian economy to early mobilization, which increases the civilian construction speed. This is kind of like early on shenanigans, but for the first one, I always like to pick who I'm gonna fight with. So I have a communism on the rise. I can fight with the communists. It can get a little hectic, but I'm gonna go with the fascists. See, right here. So you can decide which one to pick. I always pick the higher ups because if the military is with you, you own the fucking country. Simple as that. So fascism is on the rise. It says it's a red right now, but that's only as long as you're thinking. Your ideology is I'm a democratic. That's how you see that. So I'm slowly pushing towards the fascist regime. There's democratic elections, but that doesn't even bother me. Fascism or communism's like 7%. It's not a big deal. But this 4% today, every day I get 0.10%. So within a year, I have a good 20% or more push or pull on this democratic thing, and the democratic of Sweden slowly falls, leaving me open to take over for the Russian regime or German Reich. Don't even know who I'm fighting for yet. So I have a neutral foreign policy, so we have no allies, we have no enemies. We're neutral currently in any upcoming wars or past wars, future wars, etc. So here's our armor divisions. These are our infantry divisions, and they already have support artillery in them, so that's actually fucking great. Ethiopia went to war with Sweden. They absorbed Ethiopia. Very common within the first few weeks of this game. The fact that we already have that artillery is kind of nice. No, shit, I hit recruit. We do not want to recruit that. We don't have the manpower to pump out that kind of men. So we have Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, which will actually be my next target after we take out Finland, securing Finland. We have just finished some more research, so which would have been interwar artillery, increasing artillery damage. Anti-air is always a mix for me. I always put it too far beside, and then I'm getting constantly bombed and shit. But until then, we're gonna wait off that completely. Now, if you remember, I got that research increased for 50%, so 120 days compared to the 240 days. Hell of an increase. for synthetic oil, which to be honest might be what I get, because this produces not only oil, but which we are trading out currently, we're outsourcing, we're importing it in. It creates rubber, which is also something we need for our mobilization units, tanks, artillery, planes. So getting this early on is recommended for if you're going for full-on mobilization against someone. If you're planning to take out Finland, stuff like that. If you're playing a democratic company, you don't need that right away. You get radio, and then you get solid border defenses, depending on who you're fighting, or solid military Marines, paratroopers, or mountaineers. For what I'm going to be doing, mountaineers are going to be the best for conquering Sweden. But until then, the NSAP slowly gains followers. Our construction efforts are finished, building us one civilian factory, which is really good early on, to be honest. And I'm actually going to build a political effort focusing us towards nationalism end of thing, communism end of thing. And I hope you've liked this first episode, guys. There's not much going on at this point, but I just wanted to kind of test the waters and see how you guys like it. And we'll pause on the 31st of May. How about that? We'll wait the next month for that. And at this point, we're just kind of like chugging along, getting some production values going. So after these 3 civilian factories are done, which will be nice. Yes, there it is, June 1st, 3 o'clock a.m. I'm going to be setting up strategic land forts, which will go kind of along here, but not like that, because that's just stupid. They'll take too long. So you kind of look here. See this northern section? Mountain terrain. Set up here, couple, because then they're fighting into the mountain terrain protects me kind of thing, and I have a small couple divisions here holding the line, and then we get hold the 2 ends, right? Because the middle won't collapse. That's where most of the men are. Hold the sides, and then you're set. But even before that, infrastructure. You see this? This is the local infrastructure, like your roads, train routes, supply lines. So if you have like Sweden in general, this is all nice. This is perfect. 4 or more is what you want, because this is the speed of the men are getting supplies, survive it, and you need them for front lines. For naval, like coastal forts, if you know you're gonna be invaded from the west, like for example, my Navy fleet taken down, I have nothing to defend me. To preemptively build these and set an army on that front line makes it impossible for any like blitz to take over the land or get you off guard. So, anyways, talking a lot. Hope you guys liked this first episode. And I don't even know if I want my buttons are or what. This has been Sergeant Rabbit's and we'll see you guys next time on Hearts of Iron 4 Swedish Domination.